my feet carry me as I trudge through the icy rain to Yuri's house. I throw myself against the front door and reach for the knob. Locked. I don't bother knocking. I clumsily lift up the doormat and find the spare key. After numerous attempts with shaking hands, I finally stick the key in. Once I hear the bolts turn, I throw open the door. I pan my eyes frantically through the downstairs of Yuri's house. It's barren. I search everywhere, but there's no signs of Yuri. She had to have left some sort of trace. I began opening all of her drawers and cabinets. Upon opening one of the drawers, I find something that looks familiar. I take the cylindrical object, and it makes a rattling sound as I lift it up. In my hands is a bottle of pills. A full bottle of pills. I freaking called it again. Can you see why I hate it when I'm right? This is one of those cases where I hate when I'm right. The pills that Yuri's supposed to take to suppress her urge to cut herself. I read the label. Each bottle contains exactly 60 pills. I rip open the cap and pour the pills onto the table. They scatter, and I use my hands to push them into a pile. Sliding each pill one by one, I begin counting. 1, 2, 3, 9, 18, 25, 36, 49, 57, 58, 59. With my index finger, I slide the last pill next to the others. 60. I stare blankly at the pile of medicine, unable to focus my thoughts. For a second, I begin to forget where I am. What the? I'm interrupted by a single raindrop hitting the counter and making a small splash, followed by another one and another. I look up, to my surprise. A wet spot on the ceiling has appeared and is leaking. At first I assume the rain, but then I remember I'm on the first floor. An imaginary blueprint of Yuri's house begins to form in my head. If I'm in the kitchen, then directly above me should be Yuri's bathroom. I rush upstairs at an ungodly speed. I crash through the bedroom doors. Immediately, my eyes begin to look around for any signs of Yuri. Alas, there's no one here. Except, beside the bed is an opened box. My stomach churns as I slowly creep towards it. It's Yuri's knife collection. We never threw it out. As I walk up to it, I notice a single empty spot where a blade once laid. There's something else I notice. The sound of water. Not the melodic orchestra of raindrops on a roof. The running water of a faucet. I crane my neck towards the sound. It's coming from the bathroom. I reach out and tightly grip the handle. Locked. I have no intention of knocking. I step back and prepare myself. I run full speed at the door. My shoulder connects to the wood and I'm bounced back. Again. I plant my feet firmly. Another sprint to the door. Again I hit the door. I'm bounced onto the floor. My shoulder aches in pain. I get up and plant my feet again. Third time's a charm. I run full speed. I hurl my body against the wood. It gives, but it doesn't open. Once again, I'm on the floor. The door busted off its hinges. My body is crying in pain. I use my good arm to push myself up. After collecting myself, I replant my feet. Again! I can't even hit the damn thing. Well, he can't hit the damn thing and I can't hit the damn thing right now. I summon every bit of strength I have. My shoulder crashes into the door one last time. It breaks open. I lay on the floor, my energy sapped. I can no longer move my arm. I fear I've dislocated it. My arm is screaming in agony. Ah! I try to move, but I'm in too much pain. Ah! I also notice I'm wet. Sweat? No, not sweat, but water. The floor has become covered in water from the faucet. I try to collect myself as much as I can. With my good arm, I steady myself and look up. I think I'm gonna have to turn the volume off again. Okay, well, I have to prepare myself. What the hell? No. I try to shout this, but my voice barely comes out. No. No. No! I sprawl towards the tub. Yuri lays in a red-tinted, water-filled tub. I hunch over the toilet and throw up. However, my stomach is empty and my abdomen just cramps and tightens. My vision begins to blur as tears fill my eyes. I watch as they crash and join the scarlet river on the tile floor. To say I can't think properly is an understatement. I lift myself up. There's no pain as the adrenaline courses through my body. Yuri? Yuri? I grab her chin and tilt her face towards me. Yuri? I shout in denial over her still body. Her fair skin has now turned pure white. Her purple hair now tinted red from the pool. I lift her arm from out of the water. They show new lines, each going perpendicular to the ones of the past. Her emotionless face stares into nothingness. I just sit on the blood-stained floor and stare at her. Tears continue to flow down my face. The only thing I can do is stare into her lavender eyes. And for the first time, they fail to pierce back into mine. Act 4. House full of roses. Do I even want to? I guess I do. Well, it's not like it gives me a choice. Denial. This isn't real. The pain inside me, the things I see. This isn't real. I still think maybe there's a chance. Maybe if I take a second glance. This isn't real. My mind is just playing a trick. A reality I chose not to pick. This isn't real. I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I shouldn't believe it. It's just lies. It's not real. What isn't real can't hurt me. So why do I hurt? This isn't real. 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 It can't be real. For the second time today, I find myself in the hospital. The other side this time, The emergency room. I sit on the colorless starch sheets of the hospital bed, a shoulder sling over my right arm. With adrenaline gone, I rely on painkillers to keep myself stable. My memories are only stored in pieces. I visited Sayori in the hospital. I ran into Monika. I found a full bottle of pills. I broke down Yuri's door. And then I called 911. My head is still throbbing. It physically hurts to remember the events that just transpired. My eyes switch between the four walls that surround me. I stretch my neck to look out into the emergency room. Nurses and doctors occasionally walk by. Finally, one nurse steps inside. Hello. Hello. How are you feeling? I don't know how to answer. My mind is drugged by both painkillers and shock. The nurse then goes into a procedure of asking me questions to assess my mental state. Can you tell me your name? Yes. Shock is one hell of a drug. What is your name? Oh, Mark. She continues to read some notes on the computer. Do you know what day it is? We had our visit with Dr. Langdon Saturday, which was yesterday, so Sunday. The nurse nods. And do you know where you are? The all too familiar looking walls answer that. The hospital. I stare at the navy blue sling around my arm. You dislocated it. We were able to pop it back into place, but it will take time to fully heal. It's best to keep it in a sling for a while. Yuri. Where's Yuri? The girl you came in with? I'm sorry, I'm not her nurse. I believe she's being treated by a doctor down the hall. I bolt off the bed and exit the room. The nurse calls out. Hey, wait! I don't have time to wait. I continue to run down the hall. Whoa there, kiddo. A man in a white coat intercepts me. Are you the doctor? I'm a doctor, yes. Wait. You're the one who came in with that girl. Yuri? Where is she? Is she okay? The doctor's face says it all. Why don't we take a seat? He puts his hand on my shoulder, but I swat it off. No. No, I don't believe you. Let me see her. Where is she? I'm sorry. By the time we were able to treat her, it was already too late. You're lying. You're lying. She's not dead. She's not. My mind begins to fail, coming up with a proper reaction. I see guards turn the corner, quickly approaching me. The doctor places his hand up as to notion them to hold off. I finally collapse onto a wooden bench. The doctor gets down on one knee and places a hand on my shoulder once more. I press my face into his palms. This isn't real. This isn't real. This isn't real. I learned something on this bench just now. The bench where the little girl is told she has cancer. The bench where a child learns their parent had a fatal heart attack, or a mom is told her son was in a horrific car accident. The same bench where I'm told the one thing I care about in this world has been ripped away from me. The exact same bench where I learned that love isn't something tangible. True love only exists in moments. And then another moment, it's gone before you even knew you had it. You're gonna make me go through the stages of grief, aren't you? Anger. 7 deadly sins lined like a shopping list. Which one do I pick today? I grab the bright red bottle and pop the cap. Veins fill with hate and eyes fill with torment. Fists clench, ready to break anything and everything. The fires of hell corrupt my soul, lashing out at anyone who comes close. Tearing and ripping and tearing at the things I love, tearing at my very being. I'm no longer myself. The spirit of wrath knocks on my door, and I'm foolish enough to let him in. 4 days later. Doc, have you ever looked at someone and your heart just melts? I'm sorry about what happened. I just still can't believe she's really gone. He jots down some things on his notepad. How does that all make you feel? Empty. I don't really feel anything anymore. It's a bit hard to describe, really. Do you know what nothingness feels like, Doc? Your mind has had some time to process the initial shock. This period can be a dangerous time for you. A lot of different emotions may go through your mind. Look, can you just give me the medication or something so I can leave? We'll get to that. I can't just give them to you straight away. My eyes trace the walls of the room. Can you tell me what's on your mind? What's on my mind? I repeat him absent-mindedly. What's on my mind? It's good to get your mind off the event. You don't understand, Doc. I can't get it out of my head. My voice cracks with every word. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? You weren't there! I began to raise my voice at him. You didn't see the look in her eyes. You didn't have to sit in an ambulance and tell the paramedics what happened. You didn't have to relive every single moment while being questioned by the police. You're not the person who every single time I close my eyes, Doc, I just see her sitting in that bathtub. I just want that image out of my head. That's why I need you to give me some pills or something. Okay. I look up at him. It's going to be okay. I can give you a prescription based off what you're feeling. So just keep telling me what you feel. I don't feel anything! I scream at him and slam my fists into the table. I just don't understand. I did everything right. I did everything I could, but it wasn't enough. How does that make you feel? Stop asking me how I fucking feel! I shoot up onto my feet. Please, Mark. Don't say shit to me! I point my finger at him maliciously. You don't care about me. I'm just another patient to you. You don't care about me or Yuri or anyone. We're all the same in your eyes. Just another paycheck for you. My words spit sharply out of my mouth. We're just a way to feed your fancy lifestyle. Maybe some fancy jewelry for your wife, or a fun vacation with your kids. That's all we mean to you. You know that's not true. I chose this profession because I want to help people who aren't strong enough to help themselves. I scramble back and forth around the office. My voice cracks under anger. Just give me back my life! I grab the coffee table and topple it over. Papers fill the air as the doctor instinctively jumps back. Pens clatter against the floor. You sit on your chair, ask me a couple of questions, and then send me on my way. You talk about trauma as if you know what I'm going through. You see so many people with so many different problems, and yet you look at them all the same. So who's the real crazy person, Doc? He stands there like he's frozen in place. That's what I thought. I'm out of here. Mark, please. I storm through the door and don't look back. I sit bitterly on my couch and bury my face into my palms. My hands tremble in anger. I run my fingers through my hair until it looks like I destroyed a bird's nest. Tears begin to stream down my face. Tears of frustration and anxiety. My legs launch me back up at Mach speed. For some reason, I can't stay still. I begin to pace my living room floor. My eyes continue to flash between the corners of my house. I don't think my eyes have focused on one stagnant object all day now that I think about it. Ah! I scream at the top of my lungs in order to release all my bottled up anger. I collapse back onto the couch, my energy sapped. My breathing grows heavy and raspy. For some reason, my frustration still hasn't left. I lean over my couch and grab a potted plant. Flinging it across the room, it shatters against the wall. Shards ricochet in every direction. My heart continues to beat furiously. If this goes any longer, my chest is going to explode. I throw my body into the wall. With a thud, my knuckles collide with the sheetrock. Again. Again. Again! My fist goes through the wall. I slowly retract my hand back. My knuckles are covered in blood. My right arm in a sling, in my left hand bloody. I absentmindedly stare at the red patches of lost skin around my knuckles. It's funny how the same color we use to represent love also represents anger. I guess they're more or less the same. They both can destroy something within seconds. Both only ever end in pain. My body gives and I fall onto the floor. And just like me, my whole world comes crashing down as well. I lay lifeless. I clench my fist until my knuckles turn white. I let out a long breath. Eventually my body relaxes and the color of my knuckles return. My heart still continues to beat irregularly. I take a look at my wounds. I just don't understand. Why me? Physical exhaustion eventually overtakes my hyperactive mind, and I find myself drifting off to sleep. Yup, you're seriously gonna make me go through the five stages of grief. Bargaining. Why wasn't it me? Take me instead. But leave her here. I lay awake in bed, flooded with all my tears, because it should have been me. I don't know what went wrong, how she got away. I should have known all along. I couldn't make it okay, so it should have been me. I'll change my way of life just to see her again. I'm in so much pain and strife. I guess this is the end. Just take me. But that's not how you work, from what I can infer. You won't bring her forth, so I can just be with her. So, if you won't take me, I'll take myself. I wake up on the living room floor. My body feels heavy. I don't remember much of anything these past few days. I try to push myself up. Every muscle in my body begins to scream in agony. Mustering up all my strength, I lean against my couch. I pan my eyes around the room. Extending my neck, I can see the broken remains of my potted plant. It's weird being isolated for so long. I've lived my whole life in an empty home. However, now is the first time I've actually, truly felt alone. They say loneliness is a universal fear of all living creatures. Why couldn't it have been me? I slowly rise up and begin to pace the room. Okay, I read somewhere in a review that someone didn't like the choice of music at the end for certain points, and oh, hello. Never mind. My eyes dart from one focus to the next. The hole in the wall. The broken vase. My bloody knuckles. My slinged arm. There's more to it, I know it. I grab a stack of paper and a pen and begin writing things down. With a slinged arm and a busted hand, it looks more like scribbles than anything. I continue to incoherently write my thoughts down. To anyone else, it would look like a mess of sporadically paced lines, but to me, it's a timeline of all the events. I look at the mess before me. Now, where to begin? What could I have changed? I could have arrived to the house sooner. Or was it too late? Earlier than that, I continue to shoot my pupils to different parts of the scribbles. What stirred this? The argument? The messages? The boys? The medication? She didn't even take the medication. Earlier than that, Yuri's home life. If only I hadn't met her sooner. No. I should have stopped Monika from telling everyone. My mind races from one thought to the next. I should have paid more attention to those texts. I should have kept an eye on Yuri and made sure she was taking her meds. How could I not have known she wasn't taking her meds? I shout this to my empty kitchen. No response. That's fine. This is fine. I'm fine. The mess of papers on my counter says otherwise. If only it didn't take me so long to break down that door. Or maybe if I had called 911 sooner. All these thoughts continue to form a hurricane within my head. It's making me dizzy. What if I didn't visit Sayuri in the hospital? It had to be that. That wasted too much time. Or was Yuri already gone by the morning? I should ask her. How would I do that? I look up at my ceiling. Hey, anyone there? I'd like to make a deal. I get no response yet again. Any chances I can get Yuri back? I'll pay you. I'll become a better person. Is that what you want to hear? I shout louder at my ceiling. My head sinks down in shame as I stare back at the maelstrom of paper. I whisper to myself, I've gone insane. Like a deer, my head jerks to the sudden sound of my doorbell. Well, who's it gonna be? I open the door with as little effort as possible. Natsuki appears on the other side. How have you been holding up? Hey. Is for horses. I mutter my response with as little enthusiasm as possible. Can I come in? I guess. Pay no mind to the mess. I turn around and walk back into the living room. I could care less if Natsuki follows me. She follows me into the cell I call home. So you doing alright? I think so. I don't look at her. Instead, I stand hunched over, eyes staring blankly at the ground behind her. Natsuki begins to take a look around my house. Her eyes glance at the hole in the wall, then at me, then at the potted plant, then at me, then at the scribbled markings on my counter, and then back to me. Mark. I throw my hand up dismissively. I don't want to hear it. I just want to stand in silence for a moment. She opens her mouth in protest, but then closes it. Silence is a fragile thing. It can be broken by just a slip of the tongue. It makes you wonder, how can something so heavy be so delicate at the same time? Why? Why what? Why did you come here? To check up on you. Why? Did you feel bad for me? Worried I'd kill myself? Afraid I would go jump off the nearest bridge and drown myself just so I can see Yuri? Yeah, if that's not exit music flashbacks, then I don't know what is. It's like, yes, you know, Natsuki, in another universe, I did that very same thing for you. You're all the same. You, the doctor, the kids in school. Me. I tried to be different. I really did. You were different. If that were true, Yuri would still be alive. This entire time, I fight to hold back my tears. The feeling of sorrow smothers me completely. She really did love you. I know. That's why it hurts so much. I look away from Natsuki, trying to hide the fact that I'm crying. Can you please just leave? I'll be fine. I assure her. I just need some time alone to think. Thank you for coming and checking up on me. I know you mean well, but I'd rather be alone right now. She stands there quietly for a moment. I wish I could go back. Believe me, I really do. But we can't, Mark. I'm really sorry for what happened. I feel the same as you. All this time my friend was hurting and I never knew. Some nights I lay awake wondering where it went wrong. What I could have done to change it all. But there's no use in letting it consume you. You have to move on from your past. She looks down at the ground sullenly. I know I did. She recollects herself and faces me again. Recollects herself. You have to accept what happened eventually. I know it's hard, but time heals all wounds. And here he was saying that it didn't. With that, she turns on her heel and leaves my house. She's wrong. Time doesn't heal wounds. Time just lets you grow numb to the pain. I stare back up at my ceiling. I just want her back. I just want to hold her again. Look into her eyes one last time. At least let me say goodbye. I fall to my knees. I'm back in the same spot I awoke this morning. On the uncomfortable carpet, I decide to close my eyes once again. Let me guess. Depression. Okay, so this is stage 4. So stage 5. Acceptance. Outside is a smile. Inside is a frown. Outside you see a hole. Inside is just the pieces. Outside is warm. Inside is cold. Outside there's emotion. Inside there's emptiness. Outside you hear laughter. Inside there's only silence. Outside there's a smell of flowers. Inside it's rotten and tainted. Outside is a bright sunny day. Inside is a dark stormy night. Outside can find success. Inside only knows failure. Outside is just lies. Outside is just a mask. Inside the mask is pain. Inside the mask is fear. Because the mask is nothing at all. Because I am nothing until I put on the mask. Okay, yeah, I was almost about to say, like, please, this music does not fit right now. I jolt awake in a cold sweat. I look around my room. How did I even get here? The last thing I remember was Natsuki visiting yesterday. Was that yesterday? I guess time doesn't mean anything right now. What day is it? I look outside my window. There's nothing but gray. Pathetic fallacy. I climb out of bed and immediately fall to my knees. Ah! My head is throbbing. I head towards the bathroom to cool off. I turn on the cold water and begin to rinse my face. Over the running faucet, I hear an ominous noise. You failure. Huh? My head jerks up and I find myself face to face with my reflection. This sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? He has a twisted grin on his face. What's happening? You couldn't save her. What's wrong with you? Do you know how important you were to her? Stop it! You let her die alone. No. Stop it! She died alone. Shut up! I cover my ears with my hands. I squeeze my ears so tightly, my ear canals begin to hurt. You're not real. Oh, I'm as real as you are. I'm just a reflection of you after all. He or I say that in a matter-of-fact way. You can't hide from yourself. Stop talking to me! Do you know how much you meant to her? Why are you doing this? You meant everything to her. And then you just yelled right into her face. This is insanity. Insanity? Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity? Shut up! Please. I lean my head atop the counter. My tears leave my eyes and crash onto the tile. You're going to need a wet floor sign. Fuck you! Whoa, that's no way to speak to yourself. I hate you. You seem to forget that I am you. Well, maybe it's because he hates what he sees right now. He looks at the reflection and he sees failure. He looks into the mirror and he sees failure. So therefore, you hate yourself. It makes sense, really. You're mad, depressed, in denial. Those terms sound familiar. I'm not depressed. Is that why you've been crying? Why you scream when no one can even hear you? I sure hope you don't try to hang yourself. Shut up! I punch my glass self in his face. Shattered pieces fall to the ground in a symphony of crashes. I stare down at the broken pieces. With shaking hands, I pick up a long shard of glass. It's only thick enough for me to see my own eyes. It scares me. The emptiness in my eyes. I look up at what remains of my mirror. My condescending self is gone. Broken. My eyes shoot back down to the shard in my hand. Joey just scared me. It's almost like that's the last thing I need right now. With my right hand, I firmly grasp it. My vision begins to crane towards the blank canvas that is my left arm. Like writing a book, right? This glass is my pen. My blood, the ink. I press the cold glass against my skin. My body shivers upon contact. My hands continue to shake violently. I angle the blade long ways and clench my eyes shut. Just one cut. I just have to see her again. I can't go on like this. I just want to be with her again. I just want to see her. My breathing grows heavier and heavier. My arm refuses to move. Do it. Do it! Damn it! I drop the glass shard and it breaks into even smaller pieces upon impact. I can't do it. My breaths grow shallow. I slide down my bathroom wall until I reach the floor. I can't do it. I huddle into a fetal position on the freezing tiles. My body lays still in a puddle of blood and tears, the broken remnants of my mirror in front of me. Tears continue to pour out my face. Why, Yuri? Why is it that every time you make me cry, I love you a little bit more? I don't even want to say anything much to that. I continue to cry until I can't cry anymore. I cry until I can no longer feel the pain inside. Finally, acceptance. Time doesn't heal all wounds. It just allows you to become numb to the pain. It's been a long ride. There's a lot of things I wish I didn't do. I bottled my pain inside, but now I have to let go of you. The memories we made, all the time we shared, all the love we gave, and that perfume in your hair. Your name is etched into my heart. Your laugh will ring through my ears. I refuse to let me be torn apart. I won't be consumed by my fears. I continue my life with you in mind, and live every day just for you. The wounds will heal given time, as you sit there in that sky of blue. You lay there, still without a sound, and fly up to heaven's sky. The casket sinks into the ground, and thus I say my last goodbye to my amethyst angel. To an extent, I can pretty much agree to this entirely. Like with my mother, all I have is the memories I have of her. The memory I hold of her in my mind and in my heart. And all the hopes and dreams I had. As I mentioned, my hopes and dreams to have a family, and to have my mother become a part of it. But then, I suppose, dreams really never truly die. You just take them to the grave. And in some ways, I mean, I would like to hope that Maddy is still alive. I don't know where she is. As I mentioned, she just disappeared. But of course, as one of my friends told me when I ended up in a very low point in my life, he told me that I shouldn't be trying to forget her, because she clearly brought out the best in me, and because even now it's like she still means a lot to me, in a sense. But I couldn't just let it eat away at me completely. And then obviously, like, trying to forget her was kind of hurting me even more. So, in a sense, I continue living on for my mother, because I know my mother would never want me to be she would want me to be happy and not be sad missing her all the time. And I'd say that in the 4 years I've done all that, I think I've done a pretty good job of that myself. As for Maddy, well, I'll never really know what happened to her. But I pretty much just took the pain and the memories I had, and I tried to turn it into something positive. I turned it into this channel. Because a part of me felt like her dream of becoming a Let's Player that never was fulfilled. In a weird kind of way, it's like I felt like it was up to me to fulfill that dream for her. So that's why I say, to a certain extent, dreams never truly die. You just take them to the grave. Here we are. I wonder how Chisaki is doing. My eyes open ever so slowly. What? My body goes into a state of shock. What the hell? How did I get here? I pan my eyes along the landscape. How am I here? I was at home. I remember falling asleep on the floor. The low-hanging sun blinds my vision. I raise my hand to shield my eyes. Suddenly, I spot a figure in the distance. I slowly walk towards it. Slowly but surely, the figure starts to take form. Huh? I pick up my pace. Yuri? Yuri! I wave my arms to get her attention. Eventually I arrive just a few feet from her. She finally notices me. Hello, Mark. I take a look around at the landscape. Yuri has her back turned towards me as if she's looking at the same scene as me. She gives me a sidelong glance. Yuri, what's going on? What do you mean? Am I dead? Do you feel dead? I pat my hands along my body. No. Well, I hate to ruin a moment here, but how do you know if you feel dead or not? Is this a dream or is this real? Aren't dreams just reflections of the real world? Now is not the time for riddles. I began to take some steps to reach out to her. Ugh! What the? This is like Final Fantasy X all over again. I'm probably gonna sound like a lunatic to whoever has never heard or played through Final Fantasy X. But when Tidus has to go back into the far plane and Yuna tries to hold on to him and she just falls through him and she just falls flat on the floor. Tears in her eyes. So I guess you could say this is like the far plane in a way. Well, sort of. I know it's a dream, but it's just me thinking this is like the far plane in a way. He's seeing her for what might be the last time. What the? I press my hands in front of me. Ripples float through the air. There's some sort of magical barrier between me and her. Okay, well. Okay, so maybe it's the opposite. He bumped into her and he fell back. Yuri. I can't get through. I bang my hands against the wall. Yuri finally turns to me. You're not ready yet. What? Her voice has an echoey, almost angelic sound to it. Unfortunately, I can't do that with my voice. So you're gonna have to settle for what I can do instead. It sounds so far away, but so clear at the same time. No. Please. Please let me in. I wish I could. But if I let you, you wouldn't be able to go back. What if I don't want to go back? I want to be with you. I know. But you have others who rely on you. They need you. I'll just let them down like I let you down. Yuri gives me a puzzled look. I'm sorry. I begin to cry. Tears glide down my cheeks to my chin before crashing down to earth. I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have yelled at you. I should have been there to support you when you needed me. Tell me, Mark. Why do you blame yourself? Isn't it obvious? I didn't do anything to help you. You have no idea how much you helped me. If it weren't for you, I would have taken my life long before. You have no idea how much you helped me. If it weren't for you, I would have taken my life long before. I would have died without at least knowing what true love is like. I can't imagine a worse way to go. But I don't want you to go. But I don't want you to go. I respond in a shrill voice. Well, who knows, maybe my first take was probably the better one then. It hurts to talk through my tears. Yeah, it kind of hurts to talk through my tears right now. Yeah, this is actually me crying right now, because it's just... Oh, I knew that it was gonna hit me hard, but... Yeah, it's really hitting me hard right now. I can't do this without you. Did my poem not mean anything to you? Okay, well, I had to kind of take a breather because, like I said, it was getting kind of hard for me to... I meant every word I said. How can you be so quick to forgive me? Mark, you were never to blame in the first place. I hang my head and continue to sob. Now my tears just spill straight from my eye sockets. I don't know what to do. I need your help. There has to be a way to bring you back. I think we both know that's not possible. My voice drops down to a whisper. I know. It's just so hard. My heart just refuses to move on. It's like my mind is telling me that it's just not worth it anymore. Why live when the only thing worth living for is gone? And the reason she's gone is because of me. I continue to hang my head down in sorrow and watch as my tears hit the dirt. Can you answer another question for me, Mark? Okay. Hypothetically, if you were diagnosed with cancer tomorrow, would you blame yourself for getting sick? What? That was a random question. No. No, I wouldn't. She steps closer to me, as close as this invisible barrier will allow her. Then why do you blame yourself for having depression? I look up at her. Yuri stares at me. No, not at me. It's like she's staring directly into my soul. She's staring at my true self. I'm found speechless. The words she's saying toss and turn in my head. You have to go now. Wait. But... you have your own life to live. You have other people counting on you. Please don't make the same mistake I did. But what about you? What about us? She gives me a soft smile. I can wait for you. Perhaps when I see you again, we can hold hands, just like we used to. Now it's my turn to give her a soft smile. A soft, teary-eyed smile. Yuri, I think I finally learned what love is. Did you now? I nod. She gives me a look as if she knew I was going to say that this whole time. Perhaps you can tell me what the meaning is when we see each other again. When will that? But now, you have someone waiting for you. What? Mark? Mark! Mark, where are you? Huh? I wake up in a cold sweat on my bathroom floor. What happened? Where's Yuri? I look around, trying to collect my bearings. The shattered remains of my mirror are on the floor. I finally realize where I am. Hello? Anyone home? A familiar voice calls out from my bathroom door. Sayori. She can't see me like this. I attempt to get up. Ah! My head feels like it's splitting open. I press my hand against my forehead and shut my eyes tightly. I can feel my brain pounding against the front of my skull. The bathroom door gently opens. What is it with you and... I know the whole thing about the doors. I gently open the door in the original game, but it seems like you seem to have some kind of obsession with opening doors gently. I'm just saying. You might want to think about that for a moment. Like I said, this is me just trying to pick up my mood again so that I don't feel as sad. Mark! Ah! Mark! Sayori rushes over to me. Mark, what did you do? Her eyes began to scan the floor like a detective. She notices the glass on the floor and the blood on my knuckles. Sayori grabs my wrist and examines my hand. You punched your mirror? She says that with a disappointed tone. I didn't like what I saw. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. But yeah, so that's exactly what I said. He was looking at the man in the mirror and he didn't like what he saw. Because he saw a failure. Mark, do you think you're ugly? Because you're not. I think you're very cute. Oh my gosh. The corners of my mouth slightly curl. Thanks, Sayori. Now let's clean you up. She searches the cabinet for some bandages and peroxide. Bingo! Scrabble. Let's get you off your butt. Sayori throws her arm over my shoulder and picks me up. I try not to put my weight on her, but as soon as I stand up, my eyes enter another dimension and I become dizzy. Sayori supports me. Here, lean on the counter. She carefully sweeps off any excess shards of glass. I do as I'm told and rest upon the bathroom counter. What are you doing here? The doctor told me I was in good enough condition to leave. So I figured before I went home, I'd visit you. And I'm glad I did. How long have you been on the floor? I shake my head. I have no idea. Sayori gives me a pouty look. You really shouldn't sleep on the floor. There are better places to take a nap than on the ground, you know. It's bad for your neck. I know, I know. I still find myself victim of one of Sayori's lectures. She gestures for me to raise my hand over to the sink, and I do so. The bottle of peroxide hovers menacingly over my hand. This is gonna sting. I still can't get over how cute Sayori's expressions are sometimes. I know. Sayori tips the bottle. I keep my mouth shut tight to not show any display of pain. Sayori dabs the wound with the wet towel and begins to bandage it up. I guess you learned some stuff while in the hospital, huh? Sayori gives me a large smile. Just call me Nurse Sayori from now on. I give a small chuckle. You know, Mark, this kind of reminds me of when we were little kids. Yeah, how so? Well, the roles are reversed now, but I remember when we were little kids, we would always play in the neighborhood. We would run around, climb trees. I would always try to keep up with you despite you being much faster. And sometimes I would fall and get hurt. And you would stop everything and come care for me. Whether I scraped my knee or cut my hand, you were always there to help me. You would say, Sayori, look at me. It's okay. Everything will be okay. I remember I used to start carrying around band-aids in my pocket, just in case you hurt yourself. You would make me feel better, and stayed with me until the pain went away. I remember back to when Sayori and I were little kids, getting into trouble left and right. All the little things kids do. I guess I always assumed Sayori and I were equal. I didn't realize that all this time she was just trying to stay close to me. Remember when I fell in that pond near the park? Yeah, I remember. Your parents were mad. You jumped in because I was drowning. You weren't drowning. The water was only about 2 feet deep. Is that so? Well, how tall was Sayori back then? Well, I mean, even if she was like 4 feet tall, I mean, still, that's still quite a bit. Okay, fine. Well, I guess she could maybe have stood up, but still. I realize my hand has already been fully bandaged, yet Sayori still hasn't let go of it. My eyes lock onto her sky blue eyes. This is what Yuri meant, isn't it? That's right. She needs you. She needs you. The first thing she did when she got out of the hospital was to come check on you. Not go home. To see you. And even now, she's still remembering all these times you had together. That I have unfinished business here. I can't leave without knowing the people I care about will be okay. Sayori notices she's been holding my hand and quickly lets go. Sorry! It's fine. We should sit down somewhere. Okay. Sayori and I step out into my room. I take a seat on my bed. Hey, what's that? Sayori walks towards a small wooden box sitting atop my nightstand. It's the radio! It looks like a radio. It is a radio. It's not a piece of wood like I said in the other video. Yeah, it is. I remember when Yuri gave me that radio as a gift. Now it's one of the few things I have to remember her by. Well, you still have her picture as well. Sayori bends down, eye level, with the wooden radio. Her eyes dazzle like a child's. She brushes her hand along its edges. Eventually, her fingers find the dials. And then the room fills with music. Not a bad tune. Am I not supposed to hear it? Well, I guess I'm just gonna put it back to how it was. Not a bad tune. I like it. Sayori begins bobbing her head up and down to the rhythm. Yeah, this kind of crazy ASMR kind of beat. This is really cute. Where'd you get it? Yuri gave it to me. That's sweet. Where's Yuri now? Oh no. She doesn't know. That makes sense. She's been in the hospital this entire time. Yeah. Unfortunately, she's kind of lost... Well, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, she's kind of lost touch with what's gone on while she's been in the hospital. Sayori, why don't you take a seat? Okay. Sayori gives me a look of concern. She sinks down next to me. Where do I even begin? I guess I should start from the beginning. All the way from the beginning. Remember that day when Yuri and Monika got into an argument and Yuri ran out of the room? I tell Sayori the whole story. I give her as many details as I can over what's happened the past several months. Well, everything minus the past few days, where you were slowly spiraling into insanity. No, that's not true. I stay silent to allow Sayori to process what she just heard. You're lying! Her voice cracks and she breaks into a sob. Sayori throws herself onto me. I can feel a wet spot form on my shoulder. She cries loudly into my ears. I simply stroke the back of her head to comfort her. After a few minutes, Sayori seems to compose herself as much as she can. I grab her by the shoulders. I take it then that he doesn't have his arm in a sling anymore? I don't know. Sayori, look at me. I speak to her in a soft voice as if she's made of glass that could shatter by any loud noise. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm here for you. Always. Sayori nods as she wipes away her tears. You seem to be taking this rather well. I look down at my bandaged hand. Well, I wouldn't exactly say that. Did you see the hole in the wall? But recently I did have a change of heart. What's the word for that? Epiphany. Sayori smiles through her tears. I don't think it's an epiphany, but let's see. An epiphany? Okay, I guess it is an epiphany after all. I don't think that's quite right, but sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, I guess for the sake of this story, let's go with that. She gives me a small grin. I can't really explain it very well. It's just like something inside me is telling me that it's time to move on. I know it's weird, but I believe you. Sayori brushes the hair out of my face. You're my best friend. Sayori, can you say a few lines for me? You're my best friend, Sayori. And I mean that in the best way possible. I know you do. It just took me some time to understand that. I've made a lot of mistakes. So have I. I've hurt a lot of people. And so have I. I quietly chuckled to myself. I suppose we're both just huge messes, huh? That's why we make such great... That's why we make such great friends. She gives me the most sincere smile I've ever seen rest upon her face. I suppose I was wrong, Sayori. Huh? You can't really fully get rid of depression. Not alone, at least. I turned to my bathroom. Don't make the same mistake I did. Yuri's words ring through my ears. I think it's best if we take this journey together. No one can battle their demons alone. I think I'd like that. So what do we do now? Keep on living, I suppose. Yuri may not be here physically, but I believe she's somewhere out there, waiting for me. Sayori stares over at my bathroom as well. She then looks at my wrist. There's a small indent where I pressed the glass against my arm. I need you to stay here. She places her small hand over the area of my arm I nearly cut open. Please. Or, I need you to stay here. Please. I stare at her. I peer straight into her blue eyes. Her windows of the soul. Those beautiful blue eyes. I'll stay here. I grab her hand and intertwine my fingers with hers. You promise? I promise, Sayori. My story isn't over yet. Epilogue. Ghost under the streetlight. Okay, I had a feeling 1 year later. Okay, here we go. Okay, one thing that I have to know. The sequel to the book. They were building up to it this whole time. I had a feeling like... I'm gonna say it now, but I did kind of spoil the mod for myself a while back. I knew that something bad was going to happen, and that supposedly, well... This was like a very super emotional mod, as recognized by the DDLC mod community. So, I could only have assumed that something was going to happen to Yuri. Which was why, like, there's a lot of jumps in certain parts of my videos, because, like, all this stuff, basically, like, I hope we stay like this, or whatever, things like that. That kind of talk. It was like, oh my god, this is like eating away at me because I know something bad is going to happen and I don't want it to. So then, like, when they made that promise to read the book together, I was like, oh my god, no. But that's when I thought to myself, well, like, maybe, just maybe, there might be some kind of a scene where he gets that book himself and he kind of reads it as a way to kind of maybe honor and remember Yuri. Like, this is the book we promised to read together. You might not be here physically with me, but I know you'll always be in my heart. Something kind of cheesy like that. I'm sorry. I wake up to the sun telling me good morning. The early sunlight shines through my window, filling the room. I don't feel very well today, however. Today is an exceptionally difficult day to wake up to. January 5th. Yuri's birthday. It's a grim reminder of how I failed to protect her. I begin to stretch out my arms. Time to get up. I finish my morning routine like any other day. I take a shower, get dressed, eat. The same daily routine every day. I do the same exact thing every day. For what, I ask myself? It's not like I have anything to look forward to. I find myself thinking negative thoughts. It's these same thoughts that almost led to my death nearly a year ago. I lightly slap some sense into myself. Hopefully I can knock out those bad thoughts as well. And as long as you only let them stay bad thoughts and never give any action or power to those words, that's all they'll ever be. After all, I promised I would keep pushing forward, if not for me, then for Yuri. Today is a special day and I have some very special plans. Yeah, like the January 5th birthday date that they had for Yuri. That was probably like one of my favorite parts of the mod, so. Swinging open my cabinet, I reach for a picnic basket. Next, I begin work on a platter of food. I make some sandwiches, grab some fruit and water, and pack some pastries for dessert. If I remember correctly, there should be a spare blanket in the closet. I walk over and gently open my closet door. Perfect. Grabbing the blanket, I toss it next to the basket. Food, water, blanket. Looks like everything is packed. I place the basket near the door. Oh, I almost forgot. I rush upstairs to my bedroom. My backpack lays in the corner. I sling it over both shoulders. After making sure it's secure, I reach for the drawer. I stop. I'm frozen in place. Did he find the picture? As much as I want to, my arm refuses to move. My hand is locked inches from the handle as if they were both full of magnets with similar poles. An eternity passes of just me staring at my desk drawer. In here holds a Pandora's box of all my memories. Using every piece of my willpower, I grab the handle to pull it open. Inside is a badly wrapped rectangular gift. I grab the gift and head out of my house, picking up the basket and blanket along the way. Okay, well, maybe not then. Once I'm outside, I begin to feel 10 times lighter. The sun beams down on my face, and the fresh winter air fills my lungs. It's thin, clean. Despite it being sunny, the light breeze creates a perfectly balanced temperature. I couldn't have wished for more perfect weather. All the negative thoughts about today leave me, and I'm left with only pure bliss. I continue to trek towards the destination. The park is as beautiful as ever. All the birds have left for the winter, creating a calming silence. Only the sound of my footsteps and the whistling of the wind can be heard. Then why is it that I hear birds chirping right now? Okay, well, me being stupid aside. Despite the perfect weather, there seems to be very few people here. I see a few groups in the distance, but other than that, it's empty. However, that's perfectly fine by me. Eventually, I stray off the path. There's Chisaki. The dense forest begins to fade out, and I find myself in the clearing. It's been exactly 1 year since I last visited this place. The grass looks a bit greener for some reason. I take a few more steps and find myself face to branch with Chisaki. Well, haven't you grown big and tall now? It's grown a bit. Shizuki now stands just a bit shorter than me. I set down my basket and gift and begin to lay out the blanket. In less than 10 minutes, I've laid out all the food in front of me. Next, I pull out some stuff from my backpack. A portable tea set and a small oil diffuser. I start the portable Keurig, then grab the diffuser. It's a small wooden cylinder with a hole on top. In the side pocket of my bag, I pull out a small container of liquid. I pour some of its contents into the diffuser. I'm gonna let it slide. A small ray of vapor begins to float out of it. It's lavender. According to the internet, lavender has a calming effect on the body and mind. Only one more thing. I reach into my backpack and feel a hard, solid piece of wood. I pull it out and prop it in front of me. It's a framed portrait of Yuri. The same one she gave me a year ago, as a thank you for being her boyfriend. I can't help but laugh. Back then it struck me as odd, her giving me a picture of herself. Now it's all I really have left to remember her. I grab one of the sandwiches and start eating it. Ham and cheese. Easy to make and tastes great. Having Yuri's portrait here almost makes me feel not so alone. Hey Yuri. Can you hear me? It's been a while since we've talked, huh? I miss you. I really do. Yuri's picture does nothing but stare deeply at me. Everyone's doing good. The Ice Queen bitch got what she deserved. Monika got kicked out of school. As for Sayori, Natsuki, and I, we all graduated. Well, we all had to take some extra courses in the summer to graduate. None of us really went to school after what happened. But in the end, we did graduate. Natsuki actually got accepted into some sort of baking program at a university. We were all really happy for her. Where is she now? Well, I guess that's not really important, but I like to know little things like that sometimes. I started seeing Dr. Langton again. He accepted me back even after my outburst. He's truly been a really big help. He even took up Sayori as a patient. How great is that? Sayori's been doing really well at battling her depression. I can't express how proud I am of her. The wind whistles past my ear. It's weird being outside in the winter. When you imagine the sound of nature, you usually picture birds chirping. But all the birds have flown south, aside from the ones that I heard from earlier, but like I said, we're not gonna pay attention to that. So there's no sound of nature at all. Well, here there's obviously not. There's nothing else around but an open field, the cool wind, and my single cherry blossom. Every so often, there can be a small splash heard from the lake created by some small animal. The only word I could really use to describe it is peaceful. A quick ding interrupts the serenity. Ding, tea is done. My tea is finished. I pour it into 2 small cups. I place 1 cup in front of me, and the other next to Yuri. The steam begins to rise through the cool winter air. Its smell reaches my nostrils. I take a sip. It's oolong, your favorite. I'm no teasmith like you, but I think I did a pretty good job. I've actually picked up a lot of new hobbies influenced by you. Tea, reading. I even started trying to write a book. Can you believe that? Another small gust of wind blows. Chisuke leans over from the force, and a few bunches of leaves spring off. 1 leaf in particular catches my eye. The sunlight sparkles off of it as it floats around in front of me. Eventually the small pink leaf descends and slowly lands before Yuri's portrait. How about that? I brought something for you. Here we go. This has to be it. I reach for the gift that has been beside me this whole time and hold it in front of Yuri's picture to show her. I'll open it for you. I begin to slowly rip open the wrapping. As I do so, my vision begins to blur as tears fill my eyes. I finish tearing off all the wrapper and reveal a rectangular-shaped object. A book. I run my fingers through the embossed title. A Sakura's Guide. Remember when you told me how excited you were for this book to come out? Well, it's out. I proudly hold the book up. Do you also remember when you made me promise to you that when the book came out, we'd read it together? I do. And that was when it's like I nearly started crying, and I had to kind of cut out that part because it was like, oh my god. This is just torturing. This is torture at this point. Because it's like, I know that it's gonna end sad, and then it's just here like the promise they made to read the book together that's never gonna happen. I solemnly stare down at the ground. These memories are really all I have left to hold. Well, I figured we could reach together now. My sad eyes stare at Yuri. Her expression never breaks. I don't know why it would. After all, it's just a picture. But to me, it's really her, here sitting with me. I guess you can't really be her physically, so I'll just read it out loud. I've got a bit better at reading, so hopefully I'm not too slow for you. I laugh at my lonesome sense of humor. With that done, I open to the first page. According to Yuri, this book is a continuation of Infinite Isolation, the book that we read together way back when. Supposedly, this one has supernatural elements, as Keanu's spirit indirectly guides Lena to freedom. It's a story that Yuri and I were supposed to share together. Although I suppose, maybe now, Yuri's spirit can guide you to freedom. I guess I should start now. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna read it. Loneliness is a fear that everyone must face alone. That's what I thought anyway. But perhaps I was wrong. You're never truly alone. There's always someone looking out for you. I come back to my senses. What the hell? I mutter. The door. It spontaneously just opened. I stand frozen in place. No noises can be heard from the other side. For some reason unbeknownst to me, I decide to turn around and look outside my window. Through the bars of the window, I see a single leaf from the sakura float into my room. It dances through the air before elegantly landing on the cement. What I do next, I'm not entirely sure why. I feel drawn to this leaf. I gently lower myself and pick it up. It glows as I twirl it around in my fingers. There's a drastic difference between the elegance of this leaf and the dirtiness of my fingertips. It's a balanced sight to take in. Without thought, I place the leaf in my shirt pocket. About 10 minutes pass by and I finish the first chapter. I timidly close the book and look up at Yuri. I'm no longer trying to hold in my tears. I'm struggling just to hold in mine. I let them flow down my cheeks like waterfalls. But tears don't fall, do they? Yuri, I truly do love you. You saved me. I choke on my words. Pretty much the way I'm choking on mine. You showed me a part of myself I didn't even know existed. You made me feel things I didn't quite understand. But for some odd reason, I was okay with that. For once, I saw what it meant to truly love something. And I guess I can't promise this will be like my last rant or whatever about, well, I'm never gonna ever stop talking about her, but in the time that I met Maddy, I was pretty much alone as well. Kind of an outcast. And then it seemed like, it was just strange though how I met her. I was inspired by her work on YouTube. And I never thought that she would ever talk to someone like me, someone who would clumsily tell her, like, hey, I really love your work, and these videos, keep it up, and I never thought that that person, that woman would one day become one of my best friends and teach me a lot about video making, about certain things about life, and basically indirectly show me what it means to fall in love. And like I said, I mean, I know there's really not too much of a comparison per se to this story, because I like to hope that Maddy is still okay and that she's happy wherever she is, but in a sense, I still did lose her. I just don't know what happened to her. So I guess, like I said, I'm using a lot of what Maddy taught me in making videos, and I'm using it here for this channel. So in a sense, it's like, in a weird way, it's like she was teaching me how to make the channel that she was never able to fully make herself. And I did it all because she meant a lot to me. To love something so much that you would give them everything imaginable if you could. You were my world, and I'm sorry I couldn't protect you. My eyes are puffy and red, my sleeve is damp from me wiping my tears. I'm going to keep moving forward, though. I promise you that. And I will never break that promise. Yuri's portrait stares at me. Her beautiful lavender eyes that still managed to pierce mine. But behind those eyes was a broken girl that needed someone to put her back together. It's hard to believe someone so perfect could be part of this reality. She was pure. She wasn't from this world. She was a fallen angel. And now that angel has finally returned home.
Today, I cut my skin open for the first time. It was exhilarating. I tend to have this feeling of being labeled an outcast, and every time I look down, I see memories of my past. I write this poem in red ink with the pages of my skin. There's only one solution. I don't care if it's a sin. And all the kids at school, oh, they just don't seem to understand that every single day I fight with the blade that's in my hand. I keep my secrets locked inside.
You keep your secrets locked inside.
It gets close but I resist.
I get close but you resist.
But then he sees the red inked lines that you've written in my wrist.
I know you're hurting deep inside. I promise it will be okay. I promise no one will hurt you. We can find that special day. You're too perfect for this world. Your heart is made of solid gold. I promise, pretty lady, that together we'll grow old. I'm never gonna let it up. Just promise me you'll never cut my amethyst angel.
It's bittersweet, the things he says. but I don't think that I can change. What is this feeling inside me? Why do I feel so strange? But he is caring, kind, and sweet. He's got passion in his eyes. He drives away the rain clouds, which before had left me blind. But these thoughts still won't leave me. I'm suffocating in this cage. All this pain must be released. Time to scar another page. I went into my world of pain.
I went into your twisted world of pain.
And you stuck with me throughout.
And I stuck with you throughout.
Such a beautiful person.
So beautiful. You're the one I can't live without.
But I can't live with this pain anymore. I'm sorry.
I parked my car and broke down your door. Went up the stairs into your room. The rain outside the window poured, and there I stood right over you. The scarlet marks along your arms, the crimson stains upon the floor, the blatant hand that caused the storm and stole the girl that I adore. You lay there still without a sound and fly up to heaven's sky. The casket sinks into the ground, and thus I say my last goodbye to my amethyst angel.
Dear player, thank you so much for playing Doki Doki Fallen Angel. It has been a long year of development. Despite that, I do not regret taking on this project. It has changed my life in so many ways. Being part of this community and being able to share my work has been such a blessing. Thank you to the team for making this possible. I couldn't have done it without them. With Fallen Angel, I wanted to tell a story that would hit many emotions. I wanted to take the DLC community to a place it's never been before. I wanted to share a lesson that even I myself need to learn. Our time in this world is limited. We're on borrowed time, as my mom would say. The ones with us won't be here forever, so we should cherish them. Cherish the time we have now. Enjoy life as it is. Don't dwell on the past or stress about the future. Oh my... Well, hopefully you read all that. But, well... Okay then, well... We're not quite done yet. I still have all the other extra choices to do. This video is going to be super long though, so I will give you that heads up. But anyways, well, for now, I guess thank y'all for watching. And like I said, I'll give my thoughts in the next and final video, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with whatever else I do. Stay golden, and later, folks.
roses all for me. Let me live, let me be. For a little while, let my eyes see everything and nothing in their time. I do not mind. Who'd have guessed I'd ever learn to let the walls around me burn, light up the hillside. My words, I ate them for so long and nothing changed. It was just the same. And I don't know if you see me here, but I can tell you your face is clear. I will see you